It's always nice to get your head up out of the weeds during this time of year when you're in retail, and take a couple days to think big picture, and especially going into the new year. I'm glad to hear that my team is saying good things about me. That was maybe before we decided to do a whole bunch of midnight sale launches and emails during the holiday season. We launched one last night, and it looks like it's going pretty well this morning, managing it or monitoring it remotely here. What I want to talk about is really some of our experience from 11 years at Threadless. Threadless was fortunate to kind of be picked up in the business media and the mainstream media and the web geek, Web 2.0 media as kind of the one of the leading lights in the whole idea of crowdsourcing, and the idea that you could invite a customer into your business and make that customer an integral part of developing products and developing, and even marketing those products. And so over the last 10 years, we've been doing that, and I love the idea of a new marketing democracy. It's totally what we're living every single day, and frankly, most of the time it feels almost more like Occupy Madison Avenue than a democracy. It's a wild and woolly experience. But what I'd like to do is just kind of give you some insights that we've gleaned from starting by inviting customers into your business, and some of the implications that has had for us when we think about our job as marketers, our job as building awareness of this company. So really it all starts about involving community in your products. Let me just give you a 2-minute history of Threadless for those that aren't familiar with our company. Threadless is basically a community-driven t-shirt company, or at least we have been a t-shirt company until recently we've broadened out. Designers from anywhere in the world can submit t-shirt designs to our website. The community of people on that website vote on those designs, and every week Threadless picks 6 or 8 or 10 or sometimes even more than that brand new designs to turn into t-shirts. As I said, we've been doing this for 11 years. We are based in Chicago, and last year we shipped several million t-shirts to over 150 countries globally from Chicago. So I've been there for about 2.5 years, and when I arrived, the only formal marketing that we really did was email. All of the rest of the growth of the business through the early hockey stick years of kind of, the long slow build and then the hockey stick and then more mature growth in the last several years, all of that early growth was really driven by word of mouth. Word of mouth has been the kind of the dynamo at the heart of the business. The founder of our company, Jake Nickel, was a design kid doing web development and design, hanging out on a private designer forum. And this was back in the early days of the social web, before it was called the social web, when so much of the dynamic energy of the web was on those forums. And Jake won a t-shirt design contest that forum held for a conference they were holding. I think he won $100, and he enjoyed the experience so much he said, we should do more of this. So he started posting his own design challenges in this community forum, and got so much momentum with it that he eventually built Threadless as a unthreaded forum, which is where the name comes from for all those old school web geeks out there, and really took that energy of the community and put it in a new dedicated location so that energy could really grow and amplify and take on a life of its own. Initially, the energy all just came from designers amongst themselves having a place where they could post their designs, get feedback from other designers, see their product or see their design turn into a product and come to life that way. And that's really been the dynamo from the beginning. As the business progressed, Jake kept increasing the stakes, and so right now Threadless pays $2,500 to a designer when their design gets turned into a t-shirt. That's a ridiculous amount of money for a t-shirt design. And I can tell you that there's a lot of t-shirts that we lose money on with that economic model. But what it's done is created this engine, this dynamo, on top of the ability for people to freely participate, to get that community involvement. Now every designer who hears about our website just has to tell every other designer they know, hey, have you heard about this website where you can actually earn $2,500 if they print your design? If you're a high school student drawing in your basement, or an art school student trying to pay tuition, that's a huge amount of money, and you're going to tell everyone you know about that site. When you submit a design like this one, you are then going to go and tell every single person you know to go and vote for that design. And in the early days, that was primarily email. People would email each other. There's an email form on our site that you can use to send an invitation to come and vote for your design. But clearly now, in the days of social media, or at least after we started calling the social web social again, a lot of this sharing happens through Facebook, through Twitter, through StumbleUpon, through Tumblr, through all of these channels that keep opening up to amplify word of mouth online. And so this has been tremendous for our growth. It actually took us a little while to kind of realize how important those channels were going to be for the growth of Threadless. We had people using those channels before we formally enabled a lot of them on our site. But this is basically the engine that's driving the success of our business and the growth of our business. And so here's just a sampling of what happens when you let designers all over the world just throw up any random design they feel like onto a website and get other people interacting with those designs. We've got 2 million votes have been placed on 6,000 designs in the last month on Threadless. This is just as of last night. 26,000 people have interacted with this artwork. A lot of those people only voted on one design. But you know what? The way our voting works, you vote on one, it's really easy to get hooked. Oh, that's cool. Oh, here's the next one. Oh, that's cool. And they just kind of start flowing, and pretty easily you can come back an hour later and realize that you've just voted on 500 designs and you're kind of hooked, and you probably found some that you'll want to buy when we produce them. Those designs are now getting viewed like hundreds of thousands of times in some cases, and all through social sharing. And the community participation is just phenomenal. There are about 10 people now who have voted on over 100,000 designs on Threadless, which is mind-blowing, and frankly, I don't know how you do that. You literally have to vote on every one of those 6,000 designs in a month for, I don't know, I can't do the math, it's too early in the morning, but a lot of months, a lot of years to vote on that many designs. And a lot of people, the first reaction to a number like that is to say, where do these people get the time, right? And I think it's really about them having a passion, and if you have a passion for something, you have the time to do it. You have the time to engage. So what we've learned is that if you start by involving a community in your products and in your company, you'll get awesome, amazing products out of that involvement. It's kind of self-evident, but it's worked tremendously well for us. We're seeing that zip-up hoodies were a new trend in printed products, and we jumped right on that, and we issued a design challenge to our community to design great designs that worked really well on a zip-up hoodie. Anybody see where this is going on a zip-up? You pull the zipper down, and it turns into the Spock greeting, which, I would have never come up with that in a million years. But when you have just tremendously smart people all over the world interacting with your product, having a chance to kind of co-create products with you, you get amazing products. And then people just have to tell other people about this. Our best friends, my wife and I's best friends in Evanston, she went to University of Chicago. She studied Russian literature. Turns out that she and her father were huge Star Wars geeks, or sorry, Star Trek geeks. And when she saw that shirt, she completely flipped out. She actually screamed. She phoned her father, a 60-year-old doctor who probably doesn't wear a lot of zip-up hoodies, but she actually gave him one. That kind of experience just happens over and over with the products that get created by this community that we've enabled on Threadless. And the result is just unbelievable sharing. So this number is now up to 16,000 people who have liked or copied and pasted the URL into Facebook and shared that product. And every time we reprint this product, it sells out. Just because of that amazing geekery that's in evidence here, and the way that these geeky products just connect with people who have that passion and want to tell everybody they know about those products. So if you amplify this across the 3,500 designs that we've printed over the last 10 years, you get an amazing ripple effect. You get kids like this, Will Phillips. I think he's 10 or 11 years old, from somewhere in the South, I forget. But he got kicked out of his class, got suspended from school for refusing to say the Pledge of Allegiance in class. And it was because he felt that we weren't living up, America wasn't living up to the standard that was expressed in that statement, and he didn't want to say it until we lived up to that standard. And when he shows up on CNN, what does he wear but our Nerds 2 Squared Forever t-shirt? So these kinds of products that come out of a passionate community, out of a tremendously geeky, weird, creative community, get picked up by people who might not be designers, might not ever be able to submit a design, but have a passion that they want to share with the world. They want to self-identify. And we've really seen that wearing a t-shirt is a fundamentally social act. When you put a t-shirt like this on, you want a reaction. You want people to engage. You want to kind of draw out the rest of the geeks in the crowd who say, I'm a nerd too, and I love your shirt, and oh, by the way, where did you get it? So these products also take on a life of their own. And we've seen this happen over and over in just unbelievable ways. Our community started a contest called Thread Cakes. This is a cake that was made in this year's Thread Cakes contest from one of our probably most popular shirts ever, called the Communist Party. And some amazing genius took that idea of the shirt and adapted it to a cake. And so these products, even though this is the guy that runs this website for us, a community member, he's got it sort of filled with affiliate links. It's as commercial as a non-commercial website could possibly be. But basically what he's doing is marketing our products for us. He's found a way to create content around our products that's not specifically about t-shirts, that makes people want to buy t-shirts. And again, I would never have thought of that. It just came out of our community and is evidence of also the unbelievable passion for cake decorating online. So the ability for our passionate community to engage with these other super niche, super geeky communities online has been key to this word of mouth. And I think we're living in this like wildly democratic era where all of these niche groups of geeks are just looking for something that excites their passions, that they can engage with, that they can actually get involved with and market for you. Here's another example, a great design of ours called Mr. Mitten's Big Adventure. It's a cat with lasers coming out of its eyes in space. It's completely random and bizarre and awesome. And this design just wants to come to life. The volunteers in our warehouse crew volunteered to turn Mr. Mitten's, their own idea, into our Pride Parade in Chicago a couple summers ago. And they spent literally probably 30 hours making this thing, which is awesomely horrible and just got an unbelievable reaction at the Pride Parade. So these products start taking on a life of their own and create this unbelievable ripple effect that then really does all of the hard work for me and for our company of getting people to talk about these products. And again, I think this happens through all media, right? Like all of our new web internet media are social media. So it's easy to talk about Facebook and Twitter as social media, but email has been social for forever. It's a personal exchange. It started as some physicist sending some other physicist information about the experiments that they were doing. That spread to forums, which have been social and have been, probably one of the key drivers of energy on the web since day one. So for us, what that's meant is that through, just kind of a bizarre series of circumstances, we ended up with like nearly 1.7 million followers on Twitter. We try and be as early adopters as every single social platform as we can. Once we've kind of realized that we could no longer just kind of contain our community within our own boundaries, we now try and get on every social platform possible. So on Twitter, we got on early enough and got the interest of their founders. They added us to their suggested follower list. And so as people signed up for Twitter, a lot of them just kind of clicked all to join all the suggested followers, and we ended up with 1.5 million Twitter followers before that suggested follower list went away. So the lesson for me in that is just be early. You never know what's going to happen if you can really tap the energy of your geeks. Who do the people in your technology team know that might be able to get you an early entree to a company like Twitter when it's a couple 100,000 followers and be able to ride a wave like this. Same thing on Tumblr. We've been all over that lately, posting our designs. Just like the social act of wearing a t-shirt, the social act of sharing a crazy, kind of freaky, spooky t-shirt design like this on a site like Tumblr is amazing. And so we now have, I think, 25,000 followers on Tumblr, and a design like this will sometimes get 20 or 30,000 reblogs, even before it's turned into a t-shirt. And of course, email. Email has, as I said, been our primary social tool from day one. We used to do it completely scrappy. We now have a really great team that I'm tremendously proud of, who are continually pushing for ways to keep our content front and center, to keep our audience engaged through our content. Our emails used to literally be a laundry list of every new t-shirt that came out that week. 10 t-shirts displayed in a grid format on the website. There's still a lot of healthy debate internally about whether that might still be better, because every Monday morning when you open our email, you just kind of get to shop the whole selection and see the ones you like and jump in and search from there. But we've been doing as much as we can to really start to target that content to people who care about specific kinds of content. People who buy certain product lines, targeting that to them. But we've also worked really hard to keep social and email integrated. So you can see that we've added all our social links to the top. Those don't get a lot of clicks, but I think what they do is just reinforce the idea that this is shareable content. You should share this stuff. If you like this stuff, get it out there. We used to have forward to a friend links on our emails, but frankly, nobody uses them. If you're going to forward email, you probably just hit the forward button, or you just copy and paste the link of the tea that you fell in love with that morning into your Twitter feed, into your Facebook feed. And that's fine with me. It's a little harder for us to understand and track some of those audiences if they're not engaging with us directly through email. But that's kind of the complicated world that we live in these days, and we're happy to reinforce that and make these channels work together as well as possible in other ways. So we always promote our design challenges in our emails. You might be a customer who wouldn't know a pencil from a crayon, and we'll still tell you about our design challenges. We still want people to engage in the community portion of what's happening on Threadless, even though they might not be somebody who would ever submit a design. We also use social to drive email subscription. So we picked up a great idea stole it shamelessly from somebody else. Every Twitter follower we get gets an auto response from us saying, are you subscribed to our email list? And we get tremendous follow through on those. Something like over 50% of people actually end up subscribing, which is just phenomenal. So we really see all these channels as working together, as feeding off of each other, as creating energy that people are going to kind of take and spread through other channels based on their interests, their preferred means of engaging their own personal audiences. And this has just continued to drive the growth of our company. So we used to be a t-shirt company. Now we're a water bottle and iPhone case and laptop sleeve and backpack company. And the growth opportunities are tremendous for us. Here are some of our new laptop sleeves that make great Christmas presents. This all came about just through our artists continually pushing us to think about new ways to give them canvases, new canvases to design on. We rode some of the early increases in casual attire over the last 11 years. 11 years ago, probably a guy wasn't wearing a t-shirt when he was giving a presentation at a conference like this. Now people are a lot more casual in a lot more situations and wear those designs. The technology for printing has continued to improve. In the first years of our company, you could only print a couple of designs effectively on a t-shirt. Now you can do full color, 8, 12 colors if you really want to. So we're determined to keep finding new canvases like t-shirts were for us 11 years ago for artists to get that work out there, to share their crazy geeky ideas with the world and have the world kind of share them with other people. We've also had opportunities to kind of branch out and find new ways to connect with our audiences. So this machine, there are 4 of these machines in existence. We're doing a trial right now with Coinstar, selling t-shirts through vending machines. We've got these in a couple malls in Chicago, and unexpectedly in a couple of grocery stores. I would have never thought of putting a t-shirt machine in a grocery store, but Coinstar came to us with this idea based on their realization of the passion of our audience and the excitement that these products generate with the idea of testing this. We don't know where this will go. It's a pretty capital-intensive way to sell t-shirts because you gotta load the machines every week. You gotta build these machines, which are basically big robots in a box, and just building awareness and traffic for these is not going to be a simple task. But I think indicative of the opportunity is the fact that Gizmodo picked up a post from Chicagoist within days of these machines going live, and this thing is showing up in like innovation reports and all of this stuff. So the machine itself almost becomes a word-of-mouth tool for Threadless. Obviously, we hope that this goes national, but we love the fact that just by trying crazy ideas, by being scrappy, by looking for new ways to get our artists' work out there, it creates opportunities for us as a company. So what happens when you let a community kind of into your business, take their help in developing your products, take their help in marketing your products, take their help in sharing it with everyone they know, and then kind of reap the benefits of the partnerships and opportunities that come back to you is basically what we've made our new tagline, which is "Make Great Together." So we used to be a t-shirt company. Now Threadless is really about being a platform for artists to get their work into the world, for us to collaborate with other companies and businesses to further that vision and that mission of creating opportunities for artists. And just to give you a sense of kind of the crazy energy of everything about this, I'm going to give you the world premiere of a rough cut of a little video that's going to be launching on our site sometime in the next month or so. And please don't tell my creative director that you saw this, because it's not done, but even in this state, I think it's too great not to share.
Submit it and we'll make it live. You vote on yours and hundreds more from 1 to 5.
And if you do get printed, well then you get a surprise.
Cash money, watch your ideas come alive. You create and we all make great. You create and we all make great. We all make great. Together we all make great.
Together, and for some inspiration, fun and appreciation, check out some of what we all have done. Mr. Bateman, the gloves and cookie, all of loose ends on the Audrey, delicious pandemonium. We all make great. Together we all make great. Together we all make great.
So, just to kind of wrap up, a vibrant conversation like the one that we have with our community is something that I think a lot of brands can have with their communities. If you sell insurance, there are probably like actuarial geeks out there who would like nothing better than a place to hang out and do actuarial geekery and come up, talk about the latest ideas and share those ideas with every person that they know. I'm obviously not a B2B marketer because of the lameness of that example, but I think the point is that there are opportunities everywhere to engage these passionate individuals who are now empowered by all of these social tools on the internet, including email, to have an amazing conversation with you as a company. If you can wrap those amazing products in killer experiences, you create a ripple effect that is what I believe marketing is. I think marketing, in the best cases, is the result of awesome products. It's what you do to get those awesome products out into the world and amplify the impact of those products for the people that are really engaged and curious and, I've said it a million times, but geeky about what it is that you're doing. And I think all these sites like Quirky, where people are able to develop almost any kind of consumer electronic or product innovation, check it out, quirky.com. They have a huge community of people collaborating to design almost any kind of product. There's a site called Local Motors where people are collaborating to design cars, design and build actual cars that you can then go and build in their micro factory. So this ability to engage your audience, to give them a really compelling way to interact with your products, I think is really what creates amazing marketing. And that ripple effect of marketing no longer respects channels. It's, I think, maybe as wild and woolly as Occupy Wall Street or Occupy Madison Avenue. It's this force that I think we all need to just, in some ways, surrender to. Not in terms of just letting people run roughshod over our brands, but finding ways to really let that energy kind of permeate everything that we do, from product development through the ways that you market and the ways that other people engage and experience your brands. Thank you very much.
briefly describe what your organization looks like, what kind of roles you have, and how those guys interact with each other to pull off this cross-channel collaboration that you do.
Yeah, sure. So we're a fairly small company overall. We're about 50 or 60 people on the business side of our organization. My marketing team is, the formal marketing team is about 6 people. We work really closely with a full art department that does everything from working on the color separations of the t-shirts to designing collateral to designing all of our marketing materials. And really the way that we do this is almost as wild and woolly as the spirit of the video itself. It is a bit of a free-for-all. It's not always the most organized experience, but it's really driven by an effort to let people who are comfortable using these media go crazy. So I personally don't get Tumblr. I just I see it, I understand the mechanics of it, but I don't get why people are sharing stuff the way they share it on Tumblr. But there are some 22-year-old artists in our group that understand that deeply and are able to get our stuff out there so that we get like 20 or 30,000 reposts. So the integration piece comes partly, I think, still because we are a very small team, partly by empowering those people to just use their channels the way that they feel they should, and it also is driven by this deep abiding belief in this mission of creating opportunities for artists that is experienced within the company as a very personal thing. We have meetups every year with our designers, and we have hundreds of designers come to Chicago, and we get to know these people personally and see the impact that Threadless has had on their careers, on their friendships. People are getting married through our community all the time, and so that we take that personal component to what we're doing very seriously, and it's maybe a little corny, but we like to talk about marketing to people as if they're our friends, because they are.
Hey, thank you, Kim, very much.
Thanks,
we
Morgan.
will. We're actually going to move in, but just as Jack